tried to slap you, you had back pain, and I tried to slap you, and as you ducked out of the way to get slapped, you shifted your back into this thing.
Yeah,
and your back pain stopped.
but slapping someone is wrong.
Yeah, but the point you're making is that because I tried to slap you and you shifted your back and you got your back pain relieved, that now I'm good.
Yeah, but is slapping?
That's the point she made. She said it's based on the receiver.
No, that's not what I said. Slapping someone, is it a good or a bad thing? It's not a normal.
It's a bad thing.
Exactly, it's not a normal, straightforward communication. You say eating, you say
not really a bad thing.
Yeah. I'm proving to you
It
that it's not based on the receiver, because the receiver you can't determine what's going to happen to the receiver. I may try to steal from you, and in so stealing, you say, "Oh, where's my stuff?" and you search your room and find something that you've been looking for a long time. You received something that I didn't intend to give you. So for you to determine whether my actions are good or bad, you have to search my intention.
Okay,
right?
You gotta always know people's intention.
I get it's almost impossible to know people's intention.
Come on, man.
But here's what I'm trying to say, right? Basically, I needed something at this point in time. It's a normal action, but because I needed it, I'm going to see it as good.
Perception.
No, but again, back to what point I'm trying to make to you is that you're talking about the receiver. I'm talking about the person that does the action, right?
I'm just so confused by this.
Yeah. Just if you had listened to me,
I'm so confused.
We're trying to judge people's actions.
You are trying to unpack. I'm still.
Yes, to determine whether human beings can be all good or all bad.
Yep.
Now I'm saying that the majority of what human beings do don't fall into good or bad. Mm-hmm. It is not good that I came for the podcast today. It is necessary. It's just something I did.
It's bad that you came late.
Listen, it is. But do you understand now? For you to know if it's bad that I came late, you'd really need to understand my intentions. If I woke up at 11 o'clock and I didn't care, then you could say Jude was being bad by understanding my intentions. Abi?
I don't agree.
No, wait, what?
I don't. Let me tell you why.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. If I left my house at 8 a.m. this morning, and on the way I had an accident, and somebody was dying, and I took the person to the hospital, and I came back here at 12 o'clock covered in blood, you wouldn't mention me being late.
It's bad that you came late, but it's understandable.
Because you're responsible for what
you wouldn't mention that I came late because you would understand that the being late has nothing to do with my intention.
No,
at the end of the
disagree.
day,
Sorry, he wouldn't mention that he came late because he's a good person.
Disagree.
You
No,
did a
it's not.
good
It's not
thing.
even that. You did a good thing, but you came late.
It's still bad.
That good deed made you come late, but you came late. There's going to be late in
You're
that
responsible
conversation.
for that.
Yes,
guys,
for coming late.
what I'm trying to prove is that it's all about intention. What you're talking about now is now the receiver. It is bad to you that I came late. You have shifted now from the doer to the receiver again.
Okay, so
My intention, if I left my house at 10:30 to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, then it is bad. If I left at 8 o'clock, even if I got there at 11 o'clock when I planned to be there at 9 o'clock, it is not bad
it is. Late is late.
because of the
Late is bad.
receiver.
Late is late and late is bad. It's
Look,
bad.
because of the
the
receiver.
explanation as to why you are late.
Luskin, because of the receiver, you're shifting back to the receiver. I'm talking about the doer. Do you understand? There's a difference between the doer and the receiver.
What we are debating here right now is you believe that some people are inherently evil, right?
Yes.
And we say there's good in everyone, right? Let's go back to the genesis of this conversation.
Okay.
I think
You can look at Hitler and say Hitler
I didn't say
is...
there's good in everyone.
No, we said there's
Yeah,
good in
yeah, we
everyone.
said
You
there's good in
said
everyone.
some people are just fucked up beyond
Yeah.
repair, right? Do you think Hitler is an inherently evil guy?
Door.
I think he became so.
Okay. What was Hitler's agenda?
Oh, this is intention.
His initial intention was, I think, he had a very low self-esteem and was trying to assert himself. And he became power, and he became drunk for power, and then made decisions over time to reassert his power.
Okay.
That made him become probably the most evil human being I've ever seen.
I think that
Hitler's intention, as far as I understood, was he believed Germans were superior to
everybody
everything.
else.
He believed what he was doing for Germany.
Okay.
He was good for his people. He was just an evil ass motherfucker killing Jews. But his intention, you can ask a German and he'll be like, yeah, I fuck with that Hitler guy. He's a good guy. He thought we were better than everybody else and wanted to assert that. Does that change the fact that he's an evil person?
Okay, so now we are discussing intentions, Abi.
No,
Doer.
so do you know what we're discussing?
We're discussing
is
the
actually
doer.
perception. We're discussing
It's perception. It's
Yeah,
perception
you see,
that
for
we're
us to have this
discussing.
conversation, we need to be clear about our premise. I'm only talking about the doer. For what we're talking about, not the receiver.
But you can only see. The thing is,
You
because
can't-
you can't always know people's intentions.
you can't tell me you are
can
good.
only ever go by
Yes.
the perception of the receiver.
You can't
because,
tell me you are good.
a
I have to
person-
deal with you and
person-
perceive that this is a good guy
Exactly.
or this is a
if,
fucked up
if
guy.
a guy wants to propose to his girlfriend, right, and there are different ways that he could go about it. He could have asked her friend and said, "What kind of ring does she want? Blah blah blah. This one, that one, whatever," and then gone that route and made her really happy. Or he could have just got her a ring, just any ring, and she ends up. Like, he gives her the ring and she's like, what the fuck is this? I fucking hate this ring.
We see your ring, Wendy.
Receiver collects the ring, but she does not like the ring. However, based on his
Guy
intention,
was a good
he's just
guy
like,
through and
I
through.
wanted to
Yeah.
propose to you. But from her own perception, she's like, you don't know me at all because you don't know what
So
I
we're
like.
we're back to discussing the receiver. What I'm trying to find out is the guy that gave the ring a good person? And for me to understand whether the person is good or not, I have to understand what the person's intentions were. So we need to constantly forget about the receiver. Back to your late issue. If you want to know, is Jude a good person? You heard that Jude came late and you said, do I want to know? You'd have to understand my intentions. And now you raised something interesting about saying you would never know without getting... I think that you can know when you receive feedback. So you can never know absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I may start to do something. So let me give an example. Recently, I can say something online and someone responds to me. And now I have feedback about what my actions caused. Then how I respond to the feedback gives you more context as to my intention, as in what I want to do. If I'm an evil person, you can tell if I continue to perpetuate the same thing now that I've received feedback. You understand, right? So anyway, if we're coming down to now saying that we're judging someone's intentions, but that most things people are going to do on a day-to-day basis are neither good or bad, they're just necessary. Do we accept these two premises?
Okay. Good, as far as I think you're having a different conversation what we're having, which is good is not based on the doer, it's based on the receiver. So it's good and evil is all about perception. Okay. Right? So, case in point, we just discussed the gay this thing. In some countries, it's fine. They perceive it as okay. In Nigeria, they think it's one of the most evilest things ever. Perception. Same thing. One person sees it this way, one person sees it this way. So when we're talking about, this is why I brought up the Hitler thing. One of the most evil guys in the history of the world, right? But when you bring up intentions, Germans will perceive it as, oh, this guy is for us. This guy's putting us up there. Jews will perceive it as, this is the devil created this. This can't be God's work.
Yeah, but if I want to find out if Hitler is a good person, am I to listen to people's perceptions or am I to study his intentions?
I just told you his intention was.
No, I'm asking a question.
You studied his intention.
Back to the doer.
Was his intention good for Germany?
Back to the doer.
Was his intention good for
listen,
Germany?
But for me to have the answer, I must go back to the doer.
Okay.
Which is your premise you just started saying. I want us to forget about the receiver.
Okay.
You keep coming back to the receiver.
Okay,
And I'm
let's
trying to
go
let you
back
know
to the
that.
doer.
Forget about the receiver.
Okay.
Receiver doesn't matter, right?
Doer. Let's go back to the doer.
Okay.
Using
Now,
this Hitler analogy.
But down to the doer. As of the time he received feedback that Jews were being killed, he had a decision to make. And he continued to actively kill Jews. Most Germans didn't know what was happening to Jews until after the war. Most Germans didn't know what was happening to the Jews until after the war. Do you understand? So his actions as a leader of this were completely, like, this guy was a completely evil guy.
Let me ask you a question. Since we're talking about the doer and intentions. What if Hitler, in his head, thinks, for me to get to Germany where I feel Germany needs to be, Jews gotta go.
Okay?
I have a good intention. I want to put my country where I feel my country needs to be. But for me to do that, this race needs to be done.
Okay?
Okay? So that's a good intention for a section of people and demonic actions for some people. There's good somewhere in there.
Okay. So now what we're talking about his intentions. You're presenting to me like something like a complex case where it's like, I'm going to do something that's going to hurt somebody. So I said, when I get feedback, do you know how many Jews died in the Holocaust?
I don't know exact numbers, but I know
Do you know how many? Does anybody have an idea? No. Can anybody take a guess in the room?
a few million.
6 million Jews.
Bruh.
6 million Jews were systematically killed. Listen, the Jews were not fighting the Germans. They were not involved in the war. The Jews were settled in France, settled in Germany, settled in Poland, settled in most of these places. So what Hitler would do is that he would go to France, he would win the war against the French. Then he would look for the Jews. Then he would take the Jews and transport them to concentration camps. He would divide them into 2 camps. Some camps to keep the camp alive so they can keep bringing Jews. People that were old, they would burn them as heat to keep the other people alive. 6 million people. 6 million people. 6 million people. They were not fighting. It was not a war between Germany and the Jews. In fact, in Germany, Jews that were German Jews.
You are explaining
Do
to
you
me his
understand? We're
actions.
removed. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
explain to me his
I can
actions.
look
We
at
all know
his
what he did.
actions and understand that his intention in positioning Germany as a superpower had nothing to do with his action against the Jews because he was not fighting against Israel. Do you understand?
And you don't think there's somewhere in there that he saw Israel? Why what do you think why the Jews? Why?
He, at some point, there's so many theories about it and you can study on it.
Okay.
But at some point in his life, he just hated Jews.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything he did to the Jews was in any form acceptable. You remember this conversation started from even the
Do you agree that
evilest
Hitler,
person.
do you agree that Hitler was evil?
He's an evil guy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, and we are pointing to his actions as we can judge from sort of his intent, right? To point that he's evil, Abi. Now, maybe you may say that Hitler was not completely evil.
That's the whole point of this conversation. Nobody's completely evil.
Okay, just calm down. So, I want to now separate the things that Hitler does from there's the good things, there's the bad things, then there are the necessary things. Shitting, eating, talking, moving, driving, blah, blah, blah. They're neither good nor bad. They're just things that you do. Do we agree?
Okay.
So most things a human being does, even if a receiver thinks they're good, most things, if I'm getting in my car and I move out and somebody says to me, hey, are you leaving? And I say, yes, I'm leaving. And the person says, oh, wow, thank you so much. You give me a parking spot. They received it as a good thing. But it's just a thing. I'm just moving. Do you understand? It's a different thing from if I saw this person was leaving for parking and I said, hey, do you know what? My shopping is going to happen later. I'm going to move my car intentionally for you to park. Right? Do you understand? So I'm saying most things a human being does in their life, okay, are just
we're
neutral.
past all this.
So what makes a thing good or bad?
Extra things on top.
It is,
Intention and perception.
I postulate to you that when somebody intends to do something for which they know they may receive no benefit, but that somebody else will receive a benefit, I postulate to you that that's what makes something good or bad.
Okay.
And because I know that most things a human being is going to do are neither good or bad, I say to you that there are people that will never do something where someone will gain. Do you understand? Where someone will gain if they don't gain. But people around them may not see them as completely evil because if they're normal things that they do, people are still going to receive good.
Wait, so are you trying to say that a good person is someone who's altruistic, who basically will do something for no personal gain?
Yes.
I don't think altruistic people exist.
So,
listen.
because most of what you do doesn't need altruism. It's just doing.
Yeah, but so imagine a situation where someone is just naturally thoughtful, or someone remembers that, oh, your mom was in the hospital the other day, and the person is like, how's your mom doing now? The person has not done much of anything but ask you and remember that your mom is not feeling well, and maybe everybody has their own shit going on, but this person has thought to ask about your mom and check up on your mom. That kind of thing.
Do you gain anything from asking me how my mom's doing?
It somehow makes you closer. It makes the person think, oh, wow, this person is such a nice person. Whatever. I feel like there's always a bit of
So yeah,
personal gain.
You're sort of making the point, right? Which is that for me to exist in a society, I need to be friendly.
Yes.
So it's neither good nor bad. It's just necessary. I just need to be like, hello, how are you doing? Hi. But it's neither good or bad. It's just a thing human beings do. Human beings just talk. Tap their heart. How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's neither good or bad. For you to be a good person, you need to one day be like, I can see that my sister is crying. I know that I want to watch TV, but I'm going to stop my TV and I'm going to go and hug my sister and tell her it's going to be okay. I gain nothing from it, but I just want my sister to feel bad. And over time, when you do these things, you may go through days where you don't need to do anything good or bad, where you just wake up, you watch TV, you play PlayStation, you hang out. You didn't do anything good or bad. You just did things. But if today you now woke up and you now saw that, oh, my neighbor wants to get they're looking for their cat, and their cat is in my house.
No, cat is in my heart.
The cat is in my heart, and the cat is starving, and I refuse to allow the cat leave my heart, and the cat starves to death
In your heart.
in my heart.
Deep in your heart.
What are we doing this cat hearts with, like, guys?
Do you know what I'm saying? Then I've done something bad. Do you know what I'm saying? And I may go to the store, buy food, come back and eat food, and people say, he seems like a nice person.
You know, in all of this, you still haven't proven to us that people
I think-
are
Can be all bad.
all bad. Like, there's no
I
ounce of
think
good in
the
this person.
summation of people's intent can be bad, and I think Hitler is an example of that. Also Idi Amin, also people. I think that again, human beings are progress into something, but at a time in their life, I think
So you don't think Hitler or Idi Amin at the peak of this whole Nazi whatever, you don't think Hitler ever did one good thing?
unless you're explaining to me that it benefited somebody and to them they attributed it as good. I never believe that Idi Amin or Hitler did something at the height of their evilness that they knew they would gain nothing from, but would just benefit someone else.
So you don't think
I don't
Idi
believe
Amin
that.
ever gave a family food that couldn't afford food? You don't think that ever happened?
Unless he knew that he was going to serve his political gain and make him more powerful and allow him to oppress Uganda more.
But you don't know that.
I mean, come on, we're having a conversation based on things a
I
lot that we
know,
don't
I
know.
know, right?
You
I know.
pointing out that I don't
but
know
then
that.
but if you don't know that, then you can't dispute that it happened.
Yeah, then why are we conversing about anything? We don't know
I still
everything.
don't think you've convinced me that there are people that are completely evil.
Okay.
Completely
Yeah.
evil.
When
I still-
when I remove the receiver and I focus on the intention, and I say that most things people are going to do are neither good nor bad, right? But you make a decision on good things, and I say somebody can be completely evil, which means that every time they have an opportunity to help someone else, they don't. Every time they know that they have nothing to gain, they don't. They are always going to pick self-interest.
So
Always,
Idi Amin
100%
feeding a family in Uganda. Where's the self-interest there? He's already the ruler of Uganda. He already owns the
we're
fucking
talking
country.
about we're talking about something that you don't have.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if that happened, how does that benefit him?
So again, I say to you, at the height of his powers, you're talking about a man that had saved human heads in his fridge,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
At the height of his powers, this is not somebody that drove down the road and said, "Oh, this is a family. I really want to help the family." If he did it, there's cameras taking it to broadcast to the BBC for people to say, "Oh, this guy is such a great leader," which served his end purpose, which was to cut more heads and put them in the fridge. You understand? Because Uganda was in deep poverty, my brother. Deep poverty,
Yeah,
like
the whole country was, but no.
deep poverty.
There's always people, even the evilest of people, there's always somebody that's willing to come forward and say, "Oh, this guy was nice to me this one time," or "This guy was good to me this one time," or "This guy was." It happens too much for me to take this and say that there are people that are completely
Alright,
evil.
so guys,
and
what's the
celebrate
middle
it.
ground?
The middle
That's
ground
agree
is
with
we're going to agree to disagree.
I think in all of this, Ronaldinho is a legend.
Okay, next.
So
You guys
want
think about what I said.
Oh
think
my
about the
God!
proof.
Oh my days!
Think about the proof.
Oh my!
You ain't proof shit. You gave your own point of
do
view.
you guys want
Think
to talk
about the
about
proof.
one more thing?
Yes,
Or
we
should we
It's
round
math.
up?
The proof
Let's
is
talk about
Let's talk
proof
about
is showing
sports.
my
Nigeria
method.
beat us.
So when I say proof, I'm not talking
You
about
can
the fact
start
that
this
I
one.
proved it. I'm saying think about the method by which I arrived at my point.
Your method is valid. It just doesn't
You just don't agree. But I'm saying, think about the
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
on
what
the
we said.
conversation.
Agree. That's what agree to disagree means. I hear you. I just don't agree with you.
Okay, so next topic. This is me reading a headline. Gal Gadot won't star in the Wonder Woman sequel until Warner Bros. Dumps Brett Ratner.
They better get the dumping then.
I'm trying to figure out
He
who
was
Brett Ratner
accused
is.
of
Is it
sexual.
Brett Ratner.
Sexual assault allegations made against him.
By her?
No. By other people. But she's not going to star in it until they remove him.
Okay.
Man.
They threw Megan Fox off.
Innocent until
Threw
proven
her
guilty.
off, so.
Did Megan Fox make allegations against him?
No, but she did give an ultimatum.
That was for
Transformers.
Transformers, and then they threw her
And they
off
tossed her.
off the movie.
Oh, but then she wasn't the lead, so
She was the lead.
Was it one?
She was the lead.
How
no,
many
she wasn't the
accusations?
main character.
Oh, who? This guy?
And this guy.
Jesus, let me see.
Like, what's the conversation like?
Did you know that I think 16 people or 15 people have made allegations against Kevin Spacey?
Well, yeah, I put that up in the group. I
I
followed
was just
that
like,
up.
what
Of you.
the hell?
Yeah, the floodgates keep opening for these guys. But I mean, like, with this Brett Ratner thing, my fear, the other day there was this whole sexual assault conversation on Twitter, more African-American Twitter. And then by the end of the day, it had descended into, this guy was rude to me one day. I'm going to say he sexually assaulted me. Right?
Really?
Yes, it descended into that. So it starts off, and that's what scares me about this, is there are a lot of women that are dealing with this. Like, this is a real problem. But at some point, it becomes a free-for-all.
Yeah. It's a case of...
And that takes away from the real people that are dealing with, like, it's sad.
That's a valid point, but I think that many of these people that are making allegations against them, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's fake. I'm saying all it takes is one
person,
one blackmail, and it's just like, okay, who do we believe now?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Let's not conflict issues. Number one, let's not do all lives matter with the sexual thing. If there's somebody that's wrongly accused, then the person that accused him wrongly should be dealt with.
Yep.
Okay.
But until that happens, we don't need to say, what if something happens? That's like all lives matter.
You are missing my point. Here's what I'm saying. If, like now, the big thing now is sexual assault and whatever. And it's like, man, this is really terrible. The guy should be shamed, banned, blah, 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 right? And the third, which is
Louis
fine,
C.K. as
right?
well.
Exactly. Then, like I said, by that night, it descended into a finger pointing. They made a list and whatever.
Online.
Yeah, online,
Twitter,
right?
yeah, okay.
So, all it takes is for one false allegation for people to start being skeptical
About all
the others. It's just one. It's just for one person to just prove that, nah, man, that chick is lying. Then the next one I hear, I'm like, how do I know which is which?
I think generally I will first of all believe the victim.
The victim.
Yeah. Let them prove that. I don't know. If
Will you still
Again-
believe that after their whole
Again, to me,
spongy
this is
listening?
all lives
after
matter.
the what?
No, I'm not saying, no, this is not no all lives matter.
It's
This
like
is-
there are people that are sexually harassed and they're talking now.
A lot
and we
of them.
say, oh, what if somebody comes out and accuses?
No.
We need to think. We don't need to think about that. We need to deal with the people that are sexually.
I'm telling you
harassed
about
today.
something that happened that is started off in 12 noon. Oh, this guy, he organizes this event, he gropes girls and he does this and that. By 7 p.m., it had been proven that these women now have turned, it's a few women in that, it became a trending topic, became big. This one, he has left Twitter, he has made apology, blah, 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 blah. Then there's a list. The list now came out that these are the guys that are really the sexual predators.
So what was
whatever,
proven
right?
at the end of the day?
Now, some guys' names are on the list, then they have to now fight back. And in the fighting back, no, I didn't do that. And now 2 hours is asking that, oh, this girl put his name on there because something unrelated. He didn't do anything to her. Do you understand? This girl put his name on there because something unrelated. He did sexually assault her. So now that puts everybody else's story
in jeopardy.
No.
in jeopardy.
No.
Well, I think what Lucy is saying is that
Do you accept that?
the girl who cried wolf.
Yes. Do you accept that sexual harassment by men towards women is something so terrible that's been perpetuated over all societies for hundreds of years and needs to go?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so let's say we're dealing with something like racism, something as widely spread and as powerful as racism. The way we talk, the way we talk, the way we look at women, the way we comment at them, the way we reduce them to sexual beings, the way we say, hey, you're gonna fuck or what? All that stuff, it's part of this whole racism against the woman.
That statement, is that sexual harassment? Asking a chick if she'll fuck or what? Is that sexual harassment?
Yeah, it depends on the context of the conversation.
Okay.
You understand? It's all part of racism. If I say to you, nigger, I'm not stopping your activities in life.
That is the whitest.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm being racist towards you. Just the same way a guy that, from what I understand, girls live in a constantly sexualized world by men, right? And so you saying, hey, you're gonna fuck or what? Oh, that ass. Ooh, look at that girl. Like, you're perpetuating this thing that eventually leads to uncles, fathers, lecturers, whatever, sleeping with them. And until men break down that thing completely. Am I sort of articulating it correctly?
Yeah.
So if this is like racism, if it's as serious to men as racism, right? This whole idea that, oh, well, you know, if you just get one person that's wrong, blah, blah, like, bro, we're trying, like, during the racist thing, did every black person tell the truth about everything that every white person did to them? No. Has nothing to do with the fact that, yo, we got to get this racism
Out
the
of here.
fuck out of here. And let me tell you, that conversation on Twitter will have not even, I bet you that 90% of women, why am I saying 90%? I don't think that there's any woman that I know that hasn't faced some sort of sexual harassment.
I agree.
Think
I
about
agree.
that. Think about the fact
I
that
agree,
almost
totally.
every girl you know, every girl that was on Twitter that day could tell a story and point to one person. Like, what we talking about, this one guy that's like, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? I understand that, but like, bro, this is racism. Like, last week, honest to God, I sat down and I thought about my actions. And I was like, I'm a calm, cautious, very like, you know, consent. I must get consent first. Then I was like, okay, let me think about every situation where I could have. Maybe a young singer. Have I ever met a young singer and be like, hey, but you know I like you? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Or have I ever, like, there's no overt somebody that'll come and be like, oh, am I harassed me? You know what I'm saying? But have I been part of the system that affects absolutely, and every guy has in some way, shape or form. So a white guy that's telling a black guy, yeah, I didn't really mean nigger, blah, blah, blah. Bro, listen, you saying, hey, I didn't do this one thing doesn't still allow you to not be part of the problem or be part of the solution
but
today.
this is now you come to my point. That one thing. Like, you see all this, a girl cries rape, guy goes to jail, does 5 years. 5 years later, they find out that it was false accusation. Somebody has suffered for something he didn't do. If I'm the judge sitting on the next rape case, I'm 50-50 on it. Facts.
Should be 50-50 on it to start with.
No. Right now, where we are in the world, we are always going to side with any woman that comes and says I was sexually harassed, assaulted, or raped. We are always going to side with the victim.
I
right?
think that the problem is that we were not siding with the victim.
Yeah, that's why I say right now where we are in the world. Right now.
Yeah, I think we're headed there. You understand? But the problem is that we were not siding with the victim, right? The problem is that women were coming out and being shamed, being called a shower, being called... Like, yesterday, I was talking with one of my friends and she said she was arguing with somebody and the guy just called her a shower. And I was like... And I was
That one
like,
is every day now.
do you understand?
No more stops.
That one, if they don't call you a shower once a week.
Once you're a woman and then it's like, oh, you're... Do you know what I'm saying? Even the whole idea of this... Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like... We've never taken the victim's word for it. Mothers have always said, sorry, don't say that, you're trying to break the family up. Or don't tell anybody. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's always been against the victim. And now we're trying to give the victim their day in court. The victims their day in court. That's what we're trying to do. And we can't worry about like, oh well, oh yeah, there's this epidemic. I see this a lot with a lot of my so I really love the Brilliant Idiots podcast, right? Andrew Schultz and Charlamagne. And Andrew Schultz is like me. He likes to make a point. He likes his point to be heard. And I almost feel like if I were to meet him, I'd say to him, imagine that you could never make a point. That's what it's like to be black. So when you make a point about being black, even if you're right in the context of the argument, you're wrong in life. Like, people can't make the point in life. Women can't exit this sexual men, this, I don't know what's the word I'm going to use.
Patriarchy?
Patriarchy in life. They can't exit it just because we treat. It's still, they're going to go home and go to a landlord or somebody that's going to be like, like, they're living in it every day in life, and that should be the conversation. That should be the challenge. To me, what I'm afraid of is like this all lives matter thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, you have to be very sure if you say it, if you're not, because that is the way that it was perpetuated in the first place.
I think it's also interesting, like, how, like, men are so surprised by the number of people that are even surprised about the number of men that have been sexually harassed as well. And, like, it's almost, are you surprised by the number of women that are coming? I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like,
I think me as a man, what
Now they
surprises
can come
me,
out.
what surprises me and scares me, right, is what sexual assault and sexual harassment is. Do you understand? So all this, like, most men are aggressive. Most men, not all. So there are men that see a chick at the club, oh, where's my hug at? From that Twitter conversation that day, I realized that that's sexual harassment. I didn't know that before that day.
Yes.
I was raised well enough to know that keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch a woman that doesn't ask, that hasn't given you, right?
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
But I said that day, I read. So then the line now started getting like, okay, I think at this point you should just walk in the room and say hi and face your front, right?
Yeah.
Because
you shouldn't assume that women are for sex. That's the starting point. And that's my correction I need to start. Is like, you meet women and it's like, okay, we're hanging out with these girls today. How are we gonna get to the pussy? You know what I mean? What direction? Which one is yours? Oh, your guy, you take that one, I take this one. You know what I'm saying? You go like that in a way, and that's why using
you
racism.
take the wall.
You know what I'm saying? We're using racism because somebody can perpetuate racism without
even knowing.
Without even knowing, by just saying I'm a good person, hey, I just stay in my house, I don't really want any problems, you're part of the problem too. You know what I mean?
Let me.
But
okay.
a girl has told me that girls do the same thing.
Girls do what?
No, absolutely. Is
Like,
but women
like,
suffer
for
it more.
instance, case, I'm not siding with anybody. I'm just saying, I'm not even saying all lives matter. I'm just saying, girls. I asked, what do you guys go and do in the bathroom? Like, you go like a squad. See girls, like 5 of them, just go to the bathroom together.
And they're sexualizing the
I said,
guys.
they're picking, okay, I like this one, I like, which one are you on? Let's know now before we go and fight. So I'm just saying they do this as well.
Yeah, but I don't think women on the whole sexualize men all the time.
Yeah,
every
not all the time,
driver, gate man,
Now,
lecturer,
this brings it to my
guy,
my
everybody
problem
sees
of
a fine girl
what
and
is
believes
sexualizing.
I should fuck this girl.
Okay, wait. So there was one tweet.
Do you understand? This brings me back to where I said I'm now a little worried because it's like I have female friends and I know that women walk in a room and sexualize men all the time. All the time. It happens, right? But they don't act on it or are aggressive with it the way men are, right? A woman will not walk in the room and see you and be like, right? But we do that to women. So that I feel like that's the difference. So I feel we need to socialize ourselves going forward. Where it's like, that threw me off. I lost my train. Where it's like,
it's just boys.
Men just have to be very careful, right? Because that day as I was reading, I was like, oh, that's sexual assault too. Wow. Like a guy passes a comment. That has fact though.
Oh yeah.
That's sexual assault.
Yeah,
right?
it's harassment.
A guy, sexual harassment. a guy like, I'm trying to think of a few instances, like a few examples that I read that day. And it's just like, I now understood that once a woman feels uncomfortable around you, there's some sort of, that's what I understood from that conversation.
It's also
Yeah,
the
just
thing
think
is-
about racism.
It's also in the
Think about
context
how
of, like,
somebody
in the
can be
context
racist
of a
to you very
relationship,
subtly.
right? If you're with somebody, if you tell her that as fat, it's a compliment, and she probably is not like uncomfortable by it. Do you understand? Except she says that she is, but it's a random person. Why are you commenting on her? Do you understand?
But even as somebody that you know,
Even if
what
if
gives you
someone-
the right? The question is, what gives you the permission? I think that's the question to men. Like, because I'm close to you and we're friends, all of a
Doesn't mean that
sudden,
you can-
now I feel like, oh, I have the permission to sexualize you. Oh, hey, these girls, see your breasts too. These your breasts, they really stand. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. Women deal with that all the time from every man, every man around them. As long as you're a fine girl, especially this Nigeria, tall, long legs, tall, maybe certain people are gonna talk about you. They're going to like, and all that shit gotta go. All that shit gotta go. If I understand it, all that shit gotta go. So when I study it, I think about racism.
We have a long way to go in Nigeria if that's the case. Because I just feel sorry for women that just go to that Yaba market, just walk that road. Oh my God.
Market is the worst.
My nigga.
The worst
Them
place.
niggas are either pulling on...
Bro.
Because they
listen,
pull on
guys.
guys, so I can only imagine what...
Me, let me tell you something. I don't even think about situations in other places. I just think about my own
around
world.
you.
Like me and my friends. Like, yo, I've been doing that shit too. Do you know what I mean? It's okay. People around me. Emma is a funny guy. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So it's okay. It's not okay. Like if you really stop and start to listen, you're gonna listen. It's not okay. Women feel uncomfortable, and because they're part of a system that eventually you don't see yourself as part of the system, but eventually somebody's going to take advantage. Your gate man is going to be like, madam, hey. Do you know what I'm saying? And one day try to peer through the window when she's bathing or doing something, then you're gonna be like, you know, bathing, is it really a word? Has it always been bathing?
Stay
it's
on
always
point,
been
stay on
bathing,
point,
yeah.
stay on point with what you're saying.
Oh, we mispronounced it, have you?
Yeah,
Stay on
bathing.
point with what you're saying.
So, while she's bathing, and it just adds up, or your young son's going to go and meet a girl and be like, show us your pants, or, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Or putting mirrors on
do you know what I'm
under
saying? Like, it's
girls'
all
dresses
part of
and
this
stuff like that.
charged
Yeah.
basket. Oh, we're men. Oh, we gotta fuck every. We want. You know what I mean? Nah.
I mean, hormones come into it as well, but like also men are not animals. And so there's a lot of self-control that needs to come into play as well. With all these
I think it's just socialization because a lot of this shit we did, we didn't even know we were like, you didn't even know because I bet most of us raised now as we're getting older and getting more enlightened. It was just as long as I didn't force you to do anything, I didn't, right?
Which is why to know if someone is good or not, you must look at the intention.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, April.
Okay, guys. So, is there anything anyone wants to talk about?
Yeah, Nigeria beat Argentina. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yay!
Wow, such an afterthought. Yeah.
Big 17 killed it. Did you guys even watch the match?
No, I didn't.
I didn't watch it.
I
Who
don't
will
want
be the best player with Nigeria?
Oh my god, it won't be better than Messi. Guys, calm down. Sorry.
No, you calm down, relax.
We're gonna
But
win
is he the
World
best
Cup
player?
in Nigeria.
I think he had.
Apparently, he had a good
Yeah,
game
no,
yesterday. I didn't watch it, so I don't. But apparently, he had
I
a
think
good
he's
game.
getting there.
Iheanacho is the best player.
I think he is good.
Iwobi
For
is
Nigeria.
getting there, definitely.
Who's the best player in the Nigerian national team? By
Moses.
your opinion.
I'll say him.
Yeah, I think when Moses is on the pitch,
I think it's Moses.
when Moses is on the pitch, he's the most influential player.
He's
He
doing
didn't
stuff.
play yesterday. Argentina were like, oh, we didn't play Messi. We're like, yeah, we didn't play Moses. either."
Aguero, I hope Aguero is okay. They say he collapsed.
Yeah, they say he's fine, but they're still checking.
Did he collapse on the
No, in the
No,
dressing room.
just
Did you see Otamendi's
Sure.
against Iheanacho? Yo, we have to talk
Context.
about that later, bro.
My guy
Context.
laughed.
I don't know. I just shot the show.
Nah, we have to talk about that later. Can you go back? Can you go back? That's it, right here. Look at this shove. These are former
Wait.
teammates before. Look
Yeah.
at how you shoved him.
Must. Like,
Oh, wow.
You're
No
nobody.
need
Yeah, really? Can I see that when you're done?
Yeah,
Well,
as
I think it's
soon
normal.
as the
I think it's
internet.
normal in football.
No, this shove is not normal.
He
Because like
smiled.
recently,
Of course.
the last
Let me see.
Look at how he shoved him.
Bro, he
Of course
shoved
he'll
it.
smile.
He shoved him. This is fighting. Like, this is a fighting move.
Like, go and die. You're dead to me.
Like
Bro,
the last
what?
people that Man U played, I think Alex Young wanted
Yeah,
to fight.
but I think I see this a lot in football.
Ashley Young wanted to fight a.
Bro,
an
this shot
England
was too
player
much.
teammate.
Yeah, I know. I've seen Ashley Young and Dele Ali.
Exactly.
I see this a lot
I
in
saw
football.
that.
I see that a lot in
They almost
football.
fought.
Yeah, he was angry for whatever reason. That wasn't no
angry
friendly
at that
shove.
moment,
No, there was a lot of aggression behind that. But
But the former
do you guys think we stand a chance at the World Cup? I don't mean stand a chance like winning. I mean
feel
like like I don't mean stand a chance. I mean like may get to the quarterfinals.
Guys,
You know?
Let me not do like
Okay.
Olamide said. Other rappers be like Nigeria, they know they reach final. Then we went and won the cup. but we don't stand a chance.
No, but like I said, I just clarify what stand chance mean. Like I mean, if we get to the quarterfinals, we had a great competition
We don't stand a chance
to get to the quarterfinals.
We don't
I
stand
feel like
a chance.
this game with Argentina, the stakes were not just high.
Guys, we're going to win the World Cup.
Yeah, see, I get that the stakes were not high enough, but if you play a good game, you play a good game.
So what do we do when we're trying not to, reinforce patriarchy and be inclusive, and then a lady comes and says something like, we're going to win the World Cup, which is so outrageous. It makes me question her knowledge of sports, and she should even be allowed to watch sports in the first
I
place.
think she's just trying to rile you guys up though.
No, but why should she? We're not uncomfortable.
Nah, I actually feel like
I feel harassed.
Like April, there's no way. Speaking of which, April is actually super talented footballer.
thank you.
Have you
The
seen her
ball.
play?
Yeah, we played with her before.
What? Joe Biden?
Eh,
what?
what happened?
Someone said they saw a Joe Biden thread. Inappropriate behavior with
Oh my
sexual.
God.
Oh my days.
Guy, every man has
Oh God.
listen, world, every man has done it to someone. Every man has done it to
I knew you
someone.
were.
Thank God I'm still a boy.
I'm watching you. But anyways, guys, okay, since
Every
there's-
man has done it. All of us.
Damn.
Okay, guys, since there's nothing else to talk about, I'm going to.
Oh,
end
but I
this
don't agree
round.
that he should be fired. Brett Ratner should be fired
Before she can act?
before it's proven.
That he
So that's
How
different.
do they prove these things now?
Yes, just because he's accused.
Yeah, but
If the studio
Now
says he's accused, blah blah blah, blah, but they still want to work with him to stop him from working.
yeah, but how do they prove it though?
Yeah.
So basically, because what you just said now basically is everything should go on as is because they can't prove it.
No, what she can say is that I don't want to be part of the movie.
And they'll say,
because
fine,
I'm
you can
working
go.
with this.
She can't go now. She's Wonder Woman now.
Yeah, they change Superman all the time. They can do that.
You know what I'm saying?
They
But
change
she can
Spider-Man all the
She
time.
can say, "Hey, I don't want to work with him or whatever."
He's
But
breaching a contract.
as long as he hasn't violated any law that
think-
breaks his contract, also to ask them to fire him, I think
This brings up the point that I was trying to make, right? Now, obviously, they can't prove the sexual assault or sexual harassment or whatever.
they're not be able to.
I mean, they may
They
they,
may not be.
They may be able to,
They
but
may
who
be
knows?
able to.
But let's imagine they
some
can't,
of the,
Right?
if
So
some-
now she's uncomfortable in that space, obviously. And now she has given the
Ultimatum.
studio an ultimatum like, is either me or him?
Last time that this happened,
And he obviously has more clout in that
Yeah.
franchise than she does. He's Brett Ratner, for fuck's sakes.
last time that this happened, they just fired Megan Fox.
You see
So-
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she wasn't there.
Yes, and I agree with the employer's
She was
action
one of
in
the
that-
stars. What are you people saying?
in that regard.
She wasn't the lead now. She wasn't.
She was the lead babe.
No, she was the co-star.
She was
Sorry.
a
Yeah, she was.
co-star.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
she
I agree
wasn't
with the
wasn't
employer's
the guy.
actions in that regard, and it's going to sound
Megan Fox?
counterintuitive.
It is counterproductive. and-
Counterintuitive, right? Let me explain why I agree. You cannot judge someone's life, or we shouldn't treat somebody going forward by what they've done in the past. Do you understand? There's a legal system that allows you to pay your debt to society, and after you finish that, you should have a fair chance of living your life going forward.
Yeah,
so
but-
if Brett Ratner has assaulted women in the past, and they're raising up so against him, he should be investigated. It should be blah blah. If he's found guilty, he should go to jail. If it violates his contract, he should lose his job. Whatever.
Yeah, but this brings me back to what I was saying, right? Has anybody given us any proof about the Kevin Spacey? Do we have video? Do we have... It's word of mouth. It's opinions.
Yeah.
He violated me, right? Kevin Spacey, for all we know, could have said, fuck you guys, I ain't do shit, and stand his ground, right? And House of Cards will still be filming. But now the victim that we are trying to protect now and detoxify this whole masculine bullshit is going to lose her job. Because she can't work in that same space with somebody who has sexually assaulted her before.
Was it her? She was standing up for
She's standing up for other people. She's not, he hasn't sexually assaulted her.
Gal Gadot.
point
Yeah.
is,
Gal Gadot.
So
Yeah, no,
guys,
she's not
I
one
also
of the
guys, I
victims.
also saw this thing on Twitter, right, where a couple of guys went out and they were like, "Oh, I hate it when guys do this. Guys should not harass women, blah blah blah." And then a couple of girls like came at them saying, "Oh, but you did this to me," and they're now like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember. But if it happened, I'm actually very sorry." Blah blah. I'm like, oh, so this is what you guys are trying to do now. So everyone is just using the Kevin Spacey thing now. Oh, I'm sorry if it happened to you.
Okay,
That's a
because-
I
classic.
did it.
No,
That's
but
classic.
see,
That's what they're all doing
listen,
now.
you know why that is scary? Because like him, he has said now, every guy has at some point or the other
exactly what I was about to say.
seen a chick and made a crass
So
comment
what do we
about her
do now?
ass. So now, say a girl from Kaduna just shows up tomorrow
So why you say it's a classic?
and say in 2005,
Because it's easy for you to.
I was
forget
working in
when
the
you're
airport
rejected.
and Luz sexually
I
harassed
person
can't
me.
that-
remember any time that I actually.
Between me and you and God.
I know, but that's what
I
I'm saying.
don't remember.
Somebody said so.
wouldn't.
No, I'm just
The
saying
person
if
that
that
is receiving
happens.
it would.
I don't remember
So
it.
it's dead.
But
It's true. It's not.
it's possible.
You understand?
Yeah, but it's a classic.
And it's
line.
possible that at that point when I'm doing, I didn't even
Remember that.
feel I was doing something. It was just like, oh man, god damn, you got a fat ass. And you enter your flight and you believe all is right with the world. Then it comes up 13 years later and it's like, I don't remember, but if I did,
Yeah, but then now that's exactly. It's just like a white person saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was racist." But if
Exactly.
it was,
You have to
sorry.
look at it.
it's just
We have
it's
to.
Still,
Why this is coming up is because you have to humanize the victims. You understand? And I think that with racism, it's so easy for black people to just say, these black people talking again. Wow. For white people to be like, again. Until you stop and actually start listening and knowing that, bro, I went to the store and how you looked at me the whole time I was there.
Even my white friends gonna say I've been racist to me.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like,
That's the.
do you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
the fact.
Are you coming for your wedding?
So-
Won't give them rest.
No, they're not.
it's something we're all guilty of. And you in any way trying to be like, well, you know, no, I'm guilty. I'm sorry. I think one of the things that men need to do now is they need to look back at their lives and start to make restitution. Reach out to people that you know you were sexually, sexually overt towards, and just apologize. Hey, I'm reading more about this. If I was in any way, blah, 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 I'm sorry. I want to be a better person going forward. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. And that's the same thing we want to see white people around the world do as comes to race relations, especially people in America. Like, just say, look, this system has benefited us for so long. If there's any way I can help tear down the stereotypes. So if there's anything I can do, you know what I'm saying, let me know. You understand? That's the beginning point. I think. But again, to say that he shouldn't be punished going forward for what he's done in the past, unless it's punished by a court of law.
all right, guys. So it's been a great show. Chillz, thank you for joining us.
It's really been great. It's been
I am going to, yeah. It's been okay. We talked about cool things. Critical, thanks for sitting in with us as well. We would love to have you back soon, please, on the show if you're available. Care about you.
He's available.
So he's available. Okay. So yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Stop yawning.
Oh man.
No, nothing. Oh my god, you guys are so boring. Anyways, so guys, please join us.
wow.
Join us next week.
Social media
Bye. Yeah. Social media handles. Please, we're at Middle Ground Pod everywhere. Anybody else want to add their
gonna
own?
take you
Chillz,
the
what's your
job,
social
man.
media? Chillz himself on
Platinum
Instagram.
Daddy.
What do you say? What do you
Choose
say?
himself, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, guys. Peace out, everybody.
Safe.
I'm done.
The middle ground.